What's going on, guys? Blazing here. Welcome back to the channel, and thank you for joining me again on another Raid Shadow Legends video.
You seriously not following? Unbelievable.
So we are on Cuban's account, and he's asked us to kind of do just an account, look, I guess coaching session, right? So we've been playing the game for, I want to say he said since Ronda, so it's been a while, right? That's not what I'm looking for. What I want to do is I want to go in daily rewards. So we've definitely been playing it. We've got our Visix, currently working on Cleopatra's. Actually, I hate to say this, but he fed his Ronda.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Oh, man. That is a bummer. But progression-wise on the account, we are a low spender, right? So I think he said he's probably like the monthly gem pack type of situation, kind of like what we are doing with the $10 whale account. So I guess this would be a good benchmark to see what he's done and progress to what we're doing. So let's go ahead. Let's look at the champion pool first, right? Let's go ahead and include everything and then go by rarity. So we've actually got some pretty good champs here, right? We've got Tunisia, we've got a counterattack with Martyr, we've got a Teodor, which is great for an early count. We got a Duchess. We definitely have our Arbiter, we got a Cecilia, some really, really decent legendaries in the game, right? Let's go down. We got some pretty good epics, actually. So it looks like we're running a Demitha comp team here. Not bad. Good. Good. Nothing else too crazy, but it does look like we are, holding some of our champions, making sure that we've got everything right. We do have our Lady Mikage, so let's take a look at some of the builds. So let's go ahead and close that out. Let's go back to this. Lady Mikage, what do we got with this kind of a build? 300 speed, nice. 519 accuracy, pretty solid, right? Not bad, not bad. Let's take a look at our Arbiter. What are we looking at for speed here? Okay, 336, decent. Not sure if we've been using the optimizer on this account to see what speeds we can get, but what about our damage builds? I think, let's take a look at the monkey here. 6.1k attack, 100%, 260 crit rate, and we have him in a broken set. All right, it looks like, okay, so looks like Ethos is our main nuker. I would probably switch that to the monkey, to be honest. Ethos is great, but I think the monkey would be better for this account. The build on this, what are we looking at? 6.5k attack, good. Why 66 crit rate? Why 66 crit rate? That's a no-no. We always want to go 100% crit rate, right? Always 100% crit rate unless somebody on the team or there's another sort of circumstance that gives you crit rate. And if you're using his aura for crit rate, don't. That's bad. I would definitely try to optimize the build a little bit more, right? 100% crit rate, because the aura, you lose if you're using his aura in battle, right, for arena. We got a Duchess here. Let's take a look at the Duchess build. So Duchess is 85k HP, 3k defense, 245 speed, 465 resistance. The resistance is, I mean, we're in gold 5, I think, for arena, so nothing crazy. Honestly, I'd probably try to beef up the speed and defense, right, along with the HP, and not worry about any resistance. I don't know if we actually were looking for resistance at all. Let's see here. Speed, HP. Okay, looks like this piece was resistance. Maybe that was just the best piece that we had. Banner's resistance. Let's take a quick peek and see what is the best speed piece. Yeah, so this would be a little bit better for her, right? A little more tankiness, a little more speed. almost 500 extra defense. That would be much, much better. So we need a little bit more of optimization on the builds. Other than that, they look pretty solid. Like we with the exception of the ethos not having 100% crit rate, we are looking like we know how to build a champion. So that is good. Let's take a look at the Theodore real quick. Theodore is actually one of my favorites. Okay, so we've got Relentless and Immortal. Interesting. 252 speed, good. 3.5, almost 3.6k defense, good. 71k HP, solid. 270 speed.
You
not
sure
bad.
about that?
Very good, very good. Let's take a look at some progression on what we're actually farming on the account. So let's go ahead and start with Cursed City since it's the newest content. Doesn't look like we've been doing a lot here on hard mode, right? What about normal? Normal, we are looking like we are progressing through. We're getting at least through Cobblestone. I'm guessing we're probably not paying a lot of, not a lot of attention, but I would say we're probably not pushing this hard just because we don't have a pretty stacked roster, right?
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
But normal mode, we should be able to progress a little further if we have the champions built the right way. So overall, Centranos, still, again, kind of fairly new. So because we don't have the champions, not bad. Let's look at Doom Tower. Doom Tower hard. We are, looks like stuck on the Nether Spider. We do actually have some teams here that can work. You know, we can come in with the Man-Eater, Geomancer, right? We can come in, let's see, what else do we have here? We have heal reduction somewhere, right? Yep, we got Venomage, cool. What else? What else? What else? We could throw in a Duchess. And then Mithrala for a cleanse. And this right here should get you all the way up to stage 90, I believe it is. So we definitely have the champions to be able to progress a lot further in Doom Tower. So we should be pushing that, especially this rotation. Rotation 1 is probably one of the easier rotations to complete. Let's take a look at normal Doom Tower. Normal Doom Tower, it looks like we're on the Frostbiter. Do we have the... Okay, so we have cleared normal. How about hard? Have we cleared hard in the past? Because we could take a look at and see if we have the avatars. Okay, we've never cleared hard, so...
What the hell you say?
At this point, we should be able to start progressing through hard. We do have a lot of decent champions, and it's more about the team composition with some of the builds, but you could definitely get all the way up to stage 120, no problem. Other than that, yeah, there's a lot of rewards here that we're missing. Just the 2 sacred shards alone are pretty big. So I would definitely start focusing more on hard Doom Tower first, and then using whatever keys you can't complete on some of the stages and put those into normal. Clan Boss. Clan Boss, he's actually doing phenomenal. This is a 1-key Ultra Nightmare team, it looks like. Yep. Insane damage, right? Really good. Using a Demythic comp, solid. Putting in Gentoro is actually phenomenal. Gentoro's one of the best Clan Boss champions out there. Let's take a look at Hydra. Hydra doesn't look like we're hitting Nightmare, but Brutal-wise, we haven't hit anything on Brutal. Let's look at Hard. Okay, Hard, we did do 46 million. Theodore, I don't know why we're bringing him in, but we definitely have better champions. Could we do a... We definitely could do a Brutal team. We would just have to kind of mid-max some of these builds, but we could do something with like a Mashald. Let's see what else. We could do a Duchess, Cecilia, Mikage. We would need something else, just a little bit. You could throw in Geomancer, right? And then you can bring in, let's see, what else? You could bring in a Husk, right?
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
And I think that right there could be pretty good to get us into a 1-key Brutal team. So other than that, you know, we're throwing in our keys every week. We're 1-keying, so that's good. That's solid. We're getting those benefits. But but we could definitely push a little bit further on that. All right, Arena. Here we go. All right, so for Arena, it looks like we're in Bronze 3, working up to Bronze 4. I think this is going to be more dependent on the champs themselves and the builds, because we do have some pretty decent ones, right? And we can work with what we have. Like Team 1 could be a go first team. Team 2 could be a blender comp with Mikage. And then Team 3, we can go with like a straight out nuke, or not nuke, but a straight out like tanky team, right? So put in like Mithrala, put in the Monkey. We could put in Godseeker and Neri, right? To bring us that extra revive. And then, you know, we have some options here, right? We could put in, who else would be good? Do Martyr as a nuker, right? Tanky team. I think I saw a Vogoth. We can definitely put a Vogoth in, but we have other champions that we can definitely build through the account to try to progress this. So, okay. I think that just means we just need to work a little bit on the builds, but overall, not bad. We should be in silver though.
It's so depressing and it's freaky. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
With how long we've been playing, right? I think we just need to kind of prioritize the champions that we're building. Live Arena, I mean, it depends on if we're enjoying it or not. Battle history, it looks like we haven't been doing a lot. We should, honestly, though, because it is pretty big for progression in the current game mode. For any game mode, actually, right now, except for Arena. It's pretty solid, right? It helps us get all those extra little boosts on our accounts, so we should be doing it. I would just try to stay in silver 2, 3. Don't push anything further than that, right? Starting to go into gold 1, you're taking on some of the bigger boys, and you don't want to get into that mess. So anywhere here is good. Ideally, you want to be silver 4, but Arena, we are in gold 5, so that's good. We've got a pretty solid defense. Doesn't really matter too much though, just because after you lose your 10 fights, you're not really gonna fall down any further, right? So as long as you're losing 10 fights a day and you're doing 10 fights a day, you're pretty good. Let's go back into Faction Wars. Faction Wars, we are 866 out of 875, so we are really close to Lydia. Looks like Orgrin Tribe is one of the ones we're missing. Knights Revs, Undead Horde, Lizardmen. Okay, so we're not missing a lot. We're handful, maybe, what is it, 9? So definitely push this, try to get it. I think you definitely have a lot of the teams. Wait, no, you've already 3-6-starred this. Let's take a look at Orgrin Tribe. Yeah, you definitely got this. You could throw in a Bellower or something else. And actually, to be honest, if you just made this guy a 5-star, pretty tanky, you're good. You're good. You wouldn't really need anything else. Just coming in, clearing these up, and you're good. Plus, you get that legendary tome right here.
Sorry about that. Why don't you try something fun, like a fun factor, an icebreaker, to help people in so they aren't just instantly pissed off at you.
Dungeon-wise. All right. Let's start with Iron Twins. Iron Twins now, I did see a composition where we have the Painkeepers along with Geo, and we have a tower, so we can use that to farm everything out stage 15. This is actually pretty big for an account right now, because trying to get these, especially with fusions, they're going to start having them in for the summoning events. You're going to want to try to get as many of these as possible, right? Plus, getting a, by luck, a 3 or 4-star blessing on a particular champion could skyrocket their value, right? So definitely would build this out. I'm not going to check Potion Keeps, not going to check Minnow. Let's take a look at Ice Golem. Ice Golem, we're farming stage 10 at, it looks like 4 minutes. What are we working with the team here? Probably take her out, do something like this with Mithrala, something to this vicinity, right? HP burn, activate, HP burn, activate, HP burn, activate, poisons to help keep you alive, and a really strong reviver, and I think you'd be good. You don't have a seer, right? So you can't use that, but I think this team would be much, much better for you, right? And then let me take a look at what the Artec build looks like. 230 speed, 2.6k defense. Defense should come up a little more. Would definitely look to put some resistance on him. I guess we'll take a look at it at the end before we go off, but I'd probably look at a team more like this and just abuse the HP burns. And then if you get yourself a Kymar, you can replace Mithrala with a Kymar, right?
Seconds of my life. I've never been more wasted than listening to you ask questions.
Let's take a look in Spider. What are we doing here? We're looking stage 7. Okay. Same thing here. We could definitely be putting in, instead of her, we could put in Mithrala, right? HP burn, activation, HP burn, activation, HP burn, activation, Hex, AoE nuke, stage 10, 5 turn, all set, right? I'd be looking for a team like this. Let's go into Dragon. Dragon, we are farming stage 10, okay? Again, I feel like the issue we're having here is the waves, because we don't have a seer, we don't have anything to blow them up with. So we need to look at something bigger, but Rathalos, I don't think is going to work here. I would say Cecilia is actually very strong because she brings that decreased defense and weaken, especially if you're going to bring in Tunisia to just kind of stun. Or honestly, you could bring in your, what's his name? Ethos right here to be able to do this, right? I think, or you could even bring in Mikage, to be honest. Like, either one of those would work a little bit better than what you currently have. Or you can bring in Zavia and just blow up the waves, right? And then when you get to the boss, it's all about Mithrala, trying to keep everybody alive. You could definitely look at trying to throw in, just to optimize the builds a little bit. So, but overall, the fact that we're, doing hard modes is phenomenal. Fire Knight, what are we looking at here? Fire Knight, we've got Noldor, Tunisia. Okay, so automatically Tunisia is not going to be somebody I would bring in, right? These two guys right here are solid. I would probably bring in a Theodore to help you with the waves, putting up that poison weekend, right? He also brings in the decreased speed on the A1, so when you put him in at the end after Mikage ally attacks, he'll land that decreased speed, make the run a little more successful. But there's definitely... You've got a team you could make to carry you to at least stage 6. Probably, maybe stage 7. I don't see a Newton here, which means we pass up on that fusion, so ouch. But we definitely have... We've got some champions that we could work with, so not bad. Again...
Yeah, I know. Sucks. All right, well, let me try and help you a little bit here.
One of the harder stages or one of the harder dungeons to take, but definitely. Okay, so here for Sand Devils Necropolis, we are stage 15. Now, here we definitely have a team that we could use for stage 25. You basically put in your Godseeker, and you put in your Cecilia, and it's over and done with, right? That's it. Those two can solo or 2-farm it with some food for stage 25. And your Cecilia can be fully booked along with your Godseeker. Phantom Shogun, again, we could use a team here. I think we have the free-to-play team here, I want to say. You've got 2 Cold Hearts, it looks like. I know I saw 2. Okay, so you got the 2 Cold Hearts. You've got, do we have... I'm looking for some rares here. All right. Does not look like we have a... No, okay. All right, so what we need here is actually going to be... Wow, I can't believe we fed those. Oh, there we go. There's a Nullhorn. So we need Nullhorn. We need... Where? Let me make sure that we don't have anything in the back vaults. I probably should have done that. There we go. There we go. All right, so we take that. There we go. And right here. Here's your team. Stage 25. We work our way up, right? Pretty friendly team. She needs to be at like 280 speed, but everything else is pretty much easy going. Just very heavy on blessings. So make sure, you know, cold hearts take priority. The 5-star blessing on a cold heart is key. So we definitely got a team that we could work on here.
I honestly think you are the greatest man who ever lived.
Campaign, I guess I just want to see if we've cleared Nightmare. We've cleared Nightmare, so we're doing good. We're doing good here. All right, let's see how we're managing our resources. First of all, all right. Arena, we are struggling. Okay.
I didn't do fucking shit. I didn't rig shit. I didn't fucking do this. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about any of this.
We definitely got to start looking at filling in a lot more of this, right? Arena is going to be a big key for this account. We need to try to get all of this up. If we've been playing for about 200 or 300 days, I'm going to say over 300 days, almost a year. Actually, no, Rondo's been over a year now, if I'm not mistaken. So we've been playing for over a year. We should be a little more progressed here. We should have a little more of this filled out. But, you know, understandable if Arena is not your focus and you don't enjoy it. I think if you get a pretty solid team, you'll be happy. Live Arena, we haven't really done much. Okay, so it looks like we're putting some stuff into Clan Boss. Ideally, I would just focus on putting and building up your speed on Fire Knights, Dragon Lair, Spider Den, Doom Tower, Iron Twins. Focus on all those first, getting the speed up. Don't really worry. If your Clan Boss team is already doing good damage, there's no reason to try to do, you know, unless you're going for like a world record, you don't really need to do anything more than a 1 key, right? Anything other than that is excessive. It's kind of show off. I get it. You want to whip it out and show it, right? Understandable. But I wouldn't really go too much further into Clan Boss. I'd start looking more into Hydra, right? Focus on speed first, then ignore defense, try to build those up. And then you're going to see a lot of the progression through that skyrocket pretty fast. Other than that, you know, what are we doing for Faction Guardians? Not a lot, right? Okay. We're not building everything out. I do want to see organization-wise, what are we looking for organization? What do we have? Okay, so it looks like we have a lot of food just thrown into the reserve vault, so we're pretty good there. We should be keeping any of the fusions for Broadmom. Now, something I want to touch on here is the Faction Guardians. At this point in the game, we're not using a lot of rares, maybe a couple of specific factions, and you're really holding on to too much, right? Should we be holding on to all of these rares? Like we have Night Revenant, okay, you have your Renegade, but honestly, you're only getting 3 speed, and it looks like you have it turned off. So is that 3 speed a big enough thing for you, right? Same thing with Dark Elves, right? We're filling it up. We're putting in these champions that we probably will never build dupes of and are taking up some space and making it a little more difficult for us to keep it clean and organized. So I really would say, like, it's not worth it. I would look at getting rid of most of these rares. Keep champions that you're going to look to build, right? Because as you start progressing through and you start holding on to, you know, almost every, at least 1 copy of every champion in the faction, just for down the line, you know, it might be a little easier for you. But I can see right here, you know, we're very disorganized. So trying to put, you know, 1 copy of everything that you're looking to level in your Master Vault, and then, you know, your dupes and fusion champions in the reserve might be a good idea. I do have a guide on the channel that you can use to kind of figure how to do all of that, right? But we're holding on to a lot of these, like Ragemongers, Scrappers. We're not going to build rares in these factions anytime soon, right? So I would not worry too much about them. The stat boosts off rares are not worth it, in my opinion, right? Better off just glyphing some of the stuff, or just putting it towards like a Centranos, right? Where your whole account is going to benefit from that. Other than that, I would just try to get a little bit of organization here, because we do have, you know, it looks like we're running out of a lot of room, and just try to do that, make sure, right? So overall, account-wise, we're doing pretty good. Progression-wise, we're pretty solid. You know, for being a low-spend account, we have definitely done things the right way. We have knowledge on how to build some of these champions, with the exception of Ethos.
Pump your brakes, kid. That man's a national treasure.
I know you're using ethos, and actually, let's take a look at that because I didn't see the teams that we're fighting with. Okay, so we're not even using ethos as the lead, right? And we're not getting any increased crit rate. So we really, really need ethos at 100% crit rate. Okay, so rebuild the ethos at 100% crit rate. And then let me just check one last thing. Okay, so we do have them in a regen set, which is good. Just with the Artec build, I would focus a little more on the defense right now and the HP, and focus on that kind of stuff. You do need some resistance, right? And get rid of War Master. You don't want War Master on Artec. You want to take Oppressor because War Master will actually trigger the boss in Ice Golem, right? So overall, I think just a little more fine tuning on some of the champion builds that we have would be good. So use that next free gear removal and kind of mid-max some of these builds. You're doing great. I would just like to see a little more push on some of those other content, like the Sand Devils, like the Iron Twins, and the Phantom Shogun, because you have the champions, and you could definitely be doing that content, right? Most of those teams are specific speed tune teams that are going to stay that way. You don't need to change them all the time. You don't need to put the best gear on them. Just make sure that they're speed tuned the right way. That's all. Other than that, I mean, you're doing phenomenal. Look at pushing more in Hydra, and that's it. Like, overall, compared to the last one we did, let me take a look at this. Okay, so we are sitting on 1,500 pieces of gear. Let's do the ultimate test here. Okay, 3, 4. Okay. So we know that keeping main stat, flat stat for the bottom pieces is bad. The sets that we are keeping, yeah, I don't know. Maybe for like a cardinal comp, if you're using this for like a really slow champ, I could see that, but we're not. Okay, so we definitely have better knowledge, and we know that we should be keeping the right gear, right? As a matter of fact, with discount, I think you might just be keeping a little too much gear. And so I would try to kind of clutter this out, because unless you're going to build some of these champions, this gear is just wasting silver, right? So overall, I'm going to go and say, we're doing solid. Account progression is good. Just min-maxing some of the champion builds, and you're going to see that progression skyrocket through. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and thank you again for supporting on the YouTube and following on Twitch. And make sure to join us on Sunday for the Knights of Teleria podcast, where you get myself, JR Star 3, Gestel Gaming, Jarrett Gaming, Fanu Compachi, along with the one and only Nacho Plays 50, where we talk everything Raid Shadow Legends. We talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. And as always, guys, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other, and I'll catch you guys next time.